Hello, good morning. So I am back with more from the lace masterboards. I'm sorry this video is a little bit later than I'd anticipated. I'd planned to get this done sort of back end of last week and perhaps published over the weekend, but my eldest was poorly and ended up being off school for a couple of days. So we're now on Wednesday. Wednesday. And we're just getting round to it. So here we are. Anyway, if you can hear that horrible noise in the background, I hope it isn't too loud and annoying. I'm going to try and speak up and speak over it. I don't know if I mentioned my Epson Eco Tank printer conked. Something to do with an ink pad, something being full, and apparently this is it's only 6 months old, so I was pretty annoyed actually, but apparently it's one of those things type of thing. It just happens, and you can download dodgy programs and try and do it yourself, but you know what, your warranty is going to be void. So I got in touch with Epson, and they've sent me a replacement one, but that took a good week or so. So I've had to dig out my old HP one that I used to have with instant ink, because I've got extra ink cartridges left as well, and I've used that. I mean, it's a horrible printer. It takes forever. It's noisy. It breaks and jams every 2 seconds, and that's kind of why I got shut of it. But because I had some ink cartridges left, I've literally just got it sat printing just a whole bunch of papers next to me. I might as well use the ink up before I put the Epson back in. So anyway, that's that. So yeah, so please just, I hope it's not too loud. If it is, I will have to refilm parts of this, but that's fine. So if you recall, last time we made a lace masterboard, and we ended up with all of these lovely tag bases and journal card bases, and I'm trying to get to that one with a little bit of pink. And these are then to back and decorate, and these are going to go in the slim quilted journals. So I've made a couple of the skinny tags. I've made a start with these. So basically, I'm adding little bits of trim. I'm adding some lace and some eyelets and a couple of little elements, backing them onto some coffee paper and then stitching around. So that's one that I've made. That's another one, just a little bit of eyelash trim. They're quite long. Just a little diddy focal point and a little bit of embellishment. And then another one, same again, they're all backed. And these will go in the quilted journals. So I'm going to sort of fire through a few of these, and we thought we'd do some together. As I said, I've got a whole bunch of little diddy elements. I've got some bigger ones that I'm hoping I can find some cards to fit on. Some portraits, some landscape. I've got some little small elements. These are from my own collection, so my photographs. And I've just printed them, sort of run them to print, but more copies to a page, so obviously they shrink. This little postcard. So some little diddy elements. I've got some buttons. I've got these that I thought might be quite cute to pop on the front of some of them. These are my one of my digital kits. You just basically, let me see if I've got one to hand. Yes, so you print them out, cut them out, and then just fold them. And literally, I scanned envelopes and opened them in Procreate and added the flaps to create a little folding closure thing. They don't fold perfectly, fair warning. You kind of have to manipulate them a little bit, but it kind of gives you a guideline as to where to trim, where to cut. Like I'm going to I haven't folded that very well at all. Just to create little floating pockets, and I thought they were super cute. And yeah, so, and then you glue those shut and you've got a little floating pocket. So yeah, cute. So I've got a couple of those that I can add onto some of the front of some cards. So they're sweet. Lots of elements, some buttons. I don't know if I just turn you ever so slightly, there's a whole pile of trim. You should see the floor. You can't see it. It's a good job really, because it's pretty embarrassing. The floor next to me is absolutely, I mean, covered in lace and doilies and fabric and embellishments and buttons and goodness knows what. So I've got the whole hoard out. I've got some tickets, I've got some paper scraps, So let's see how we go. So I've kind of put this one, gathered some bits together. I am going to zoom you in a little bit, and hopefully, can I move out a little bit? Can I budge that up a bit? Are you going to budge, Matt? Ah! That was inevitable, wasn't it? Right, so you can see. So yeah, so I've got, I just shove the buttons to one side. So this is the piece that I've taken, which is a nice sort of patchworky piece. There is a little bit missing at the bottom. When I did the lace masterboard, I did stitch sort of, I ran random lines up and down the board before we cut it, just to hold things in place. But I do like to stitch all the way around again. So I'm going to cover that bottom bit that's missing. And when I stitch around the bottom, this will sort of hold on. But I'm going to, I don't know whether to sort of do a bit of hand stitching on that as well. So this little piece, which is quite nice, some pearly embellishments, I've just sort of trimmed to, I want it to hang. So it's going to be something like that. I just want these little bits of pieces to hang at the bottom. So that will be the bottom of it. And then I've got a piece of ledger just as a bit of a back. That's my little focal point that I've chosen. A little lady. And I thought just a bit of one of the tickets might be quite nice to just sort of shove. I think I put that behind actually when I set this out, just to give a bit of contrast. I'm trying to keep these quite neutral. I don't know if you can tell, but there's just an odd little splash of colour. I mean, there's no inking. I don't want anything too heavy because they're quite light, sort of delicate journals, I feel. So yes, I think that's going to be that. And then I thought a couple of little buttons might be quite nice. Maybe 3 of them. I do things in 3s, but maybe different tones. Maybe something like that. Might look quite cute. So let's get these glued down then. So I'm using Fabri-Tac. I do hope that printer's not too loud. I'm using Fabri-Tac because obviously we're sticking onto fabric, but I'm trying to be mindful that I am going to have to pass this through my sewing machine again. So I don't want, let's do this first. I don't want too much of the Fabri-Tac because I don't want to ruin my needle. Obviously, if you choose to run glue through your sewing machine, that's on you. It can damage your needle, so do be mindful of that. But I find Fabri-Tac isn't too bad. I don't know why I've put glue right at the top because I didn't need it. But I think something, do you know what? I'm going to get another bit. Hang on, because now we're in all kinds of, look at this, for goodness sake. I wanted to try and keep this video short if I can, because I feel like some of mine do go on a little bit. So if it sounds like I'm rushing, shut up, printer. So if it sounds like I'm rushing, I am sorry. It's not my intention. Yeah, I want this just that little bit longer, I think, just to sort of peak at the bottom. So I'm just going to tear that bit. Yeah. And then I'm going to glue that. There-ish. Not got too near the top. So just want the ledger paper on there. Something like that, I think. And then she can kind of... Where did I put her? Where did I put you? There. I wanted it sort of all staggery. So let's stick her down. Come on. Well, I hope everybody's keeping warm. It's absolutely freezing here in good old sunny UK. It's so cold. The school run has just been horrendous. I don't know what it's been like overseas. Speaking of overseas, whilst I'm doing this, I just want to say a massive, I am really sorry to, I should just glue that first, to my overseas customers. I've had to suspend overseas sales thanks to a cyber attack on Royal Mail, so on the UK's postal service, which is really rather, not ideal at all. The majority of my sales are overseas, and I won't be the only small business really feeling this at the minute. It's not great. It's really not. I think I'm going to put them that side now. I'm saying that. Yeah, it's frustrating actually, because you know, we had the strikes to deal. You know, I'm all for supporting industrial action and strike action, and if that's what they feel they need to do, then that's fine, that's on them. But we had the strikes, and then we had yes, the strikes over Christmas time, so I had to close up my shop early, and then now we've got this. It's, you know, it's not their fault. It's not Royal Mail's fault. However, a little bit more information would be good. I sent a tweet to Royal Mail yesterday. Me and many others, and they haven't said anything. They haven't updated us. It's barely being covered in the news. And quite frankly, it's rather annoying. So I think what I'm going to do, if it isn't sorted, say by the end of the week, I'm going to look at someone like, I don't know, DHL, UPS, I don't know who else you look at really. I had a quick look at sort of Parcel Force or whoever it was that I looked at the other day. And whereas it usually cost me, say, £6 to send something, it was more than £10. It was so expensive. You know, a £3 parcel suddenly was £8. And it's just, I feel bad charging that. I mean, obviously it doesn't go in my pocket. I wish I got the money that bloody Royal Mail sometimes charge, but it just seems so expensive and such a faff. And I genuinely thought, oh, it's Royal Mail, you know, they're not going to suddenly stop this for the next month. Well, it's been over a week and we've heard nothing. So who knows how long it's going to take to resolve at this stage. So what I would say to anybody watching, you, if you do have a little look on my Etsy shop and you'd like to purchase something and you want a quote for postage, please contact me and I will have a look and get you a price. And if you're happy with it, brilliant. If you're not, do you know what? I don't blame you. That's fine. But please contact me. But in the meantime, if it isn't resolved by the end of the week, I am going to look at other alternatives because it's just annoying, to be honest. So yeah, little rant there. Don't like to get political, as you know. Try and avoid that if I can, but pretty damn annoying. And like I say, it's not their fault, but if you could give us some information, that would be bloody lovely, because yeah, lots of businesses will be suffering for this, big and small. But, you know, your little small independents who really rely on overseas sellers, purchasers, are really being screwed, quite frankly. So, yeah, there we are. Anyway, I'll shut up. So, what I've done, I was looking for an awl, but I don't seem to have one handy. I have just put a dot of glue on just to hold these in place, because I am going to stitch them on. But it's just easy to keep them in place. Now, I used to have, I don't know where I've put it. I used to have like a little pad that was, it was actually what you carve a stamp block out of to do the poking into, but I can't put my hands on it. So never mind. We'll just use the needle, that's fine. Or maybe I'll use a pin. I just want something to, if you can, so when you do this, if you do this the same way as me, just a little bit of glue just to hold your button in place, and then pre-poke the holes where your needle's going to go, it's just that little bit easier. There we are. Right, so put my pin back. So I've pre-poked my holes. I'm loving how these are turning out. I love the neutral colours. It's not something I often do. I often go quite grungy. Excuse me if you can't quite see what I'm doing here. I'm just looking at the back of my pre-poked holes. Yeah, I usually do something quite grungy, but you've bloody moved, haven't you? God. There. But so this is a bit different for me. There we are. And I like it a lot. These delicate sort of colours, and yeah, pretty. So, just going to do a couple of pulls through, and then I'm going to move on to the next one. If I can see the holes. I'm really sorry if this is terrible to watch. Terrible to watch, terrible to listen to. don't know why you're bothering, really. Deary me. I don't know if anybody saw my Instagram as well this weekend. I did a lot of avocado dyeing of paper and fabric. So I'm going to put a couple of avocado packs up today or tomorrow. Again, overseas buyers, if you want one, message me and I will get you a price for the postage, because I'll have to look it up. Yeah. Otherwise, you kind of know what different places charge because you're sort of used to it. But with Royal Mail, but with, I don't know who I'd use. I think my other house of DHL were a good one to look at, so we might look at that. And UPS is the United States one, isn't it? So I'm assuming I can only, I don't know, can you use them? Can I don't know. I've seen UPS vans in the England in the England where we live, but I genuinely don't know how that works. So I shall look it up. There, like that. So I'm just going to tie this off. I'm hoping, because I'm using quite a thin cotton to do it, I'm hoping it's not adding too much bulk to the back. Because obviously I want these still to be functional cards and tags. So yeah, right, there we are. So shove that to one side. Now just trim a few of these little little threads off. So that's what we've got at the minute, which I really like. I still want to add this. She says, do I? Is it a bit much? Shall I look at something? What about one of the little flowers? No, we've got, no. I think I want something at the bottom. I don't know what. So I've got a stack of lace here. That could be, I see I've just done that on another one. So that could be pretty. Can you see again? Let me move. Oh gosh, is that better? That could be pretty. Or I mean, I've got so much lace and trim and stuff, and I was really organised and did this and put them on little cards and wrap them around. And then as I use them, I end up chucking the pin away, and then I never put them back properly, and then they end up in a big pile. So I forget what I've even got. Terrible, terrible habits. The rest of my house is tidy. This room is just diabolical. I'll tidy it sort of once a week. I'll give it a really good clean and a really good tidy. And then within about an hour, like, you can't see the floor. You literally can't see the floor. It's insane. No. I want something, I just don't know what it is. But you? What even are you? What about a little bit of that? Just at the bottom, just to finish it off. Yeah, because I like, it's got the white on it, so that's fine. So I'm just going to do a small smidge just to hold it in place, because obviously, as I said, it is going to go back through the sewing machine. So let's just kind of do that. And then if we want to, I do have, if you can see, little bits of bling and trim and pearls and stuff. I mean, I could maybe add something like that. It's just whether I trust my glue to hold it in place. I mean, I guess I could hand stitch it. I'm not sure. God, that printer sounds like it's on its last legs. Or should I just add a little bit of this? Just a little bit of something. I don't like too much bling. Just can make it look a bit tacky sometimes. What about that? I need to get on. Anyway, right. I might glue that on the bottom. I'm not feeling that, I don't think. Let's see. Let's get this backed. So I've got some little, these are offcuts that I've kept. So when I've cut down pages for journals, I've kept the offcuts, and some of them are quite big, which is handy. So I've kind of kept those. So again, I'm running the glue slightly in from the edge, just so it's not going to have to go through the sewing machine too much. I'm going to line that up. Try and make it nice and neat. Because then I have to cut around it. Get my big scissors. Hope that that's gone straight, because I feel like it hasn't. No. Ah! It's so annoying. Let's see. Oh, I've got some different coloured papers here, actually. Ooh, sure, pink. I've got some old avocado dyed trimmings. Should shove you on there. You're still a bit sticky. Not really. I had a feeling I did that with that other one. Let's just do that just to hold you in place. It's because I can't see because of the bit at the bottom. So let's cut you first. I'm making this look so awkward. No, it's not even. I'm going to trim that, it's fine. It's annoying me now. There. And then that bit. Right. Yeah, making this look like a right difficult task, and it's really not. Right, so I'll whiz this around my sewing machine. I won't attempt to turn it. I'm literally I've got a cream thread in there and a straight stitch, and I'm just going to whiz it round. Bear with. I'll find my pedal. I think we did a bit of a wonky stitch there because of the buttons, so this might be just something to consider, your button placement. Mine isn't the best. I should really have thought about that first, but there we are. These things are sent to triers. Yeah, so the button sort of forced us a little bit wonky, but that's all right. That's all right. We can deal with that. Now, I think hot glue is unnecessary, so I'm going to just add this with this, and if it comes off, we'll deal with it later. Blimey. Yeah, I hope I don't get sued by HP for saying that's a horrible printer, but my God, it's a horrible printer. It's so annoying. Constant paper jams and... oh, yeah. Just takes so long to print, and... what do you think of that? Yeah, real pain. So, right, I'm going to get some eyelets, or an eyelet, and shall we go... silver, I think, with this one. And I've got my little crocodile. Kind of eyeball the middle. If you're putting eyelets in, be mindful when you're obviously punching through fabric. Can you see it hasn't quite come off, so you'll just have to sort of trim that. And sometimes there'll be little fluffy bits that when you push your eyelet in will push through to the back. So just when you pop your eyelet in before you clamp it, just make sure you're happy with how it looks at the back, which that one's fine. But some of them I've had, if it's quite, this is obviously a cotton, so it's not too bad, but something like this, it's a little bit more lacy, or a little bit fuller, with more threads, does sort of pull through. So just check you're not going to have dodgy threads on the back that are going to annoy you. So that's that. So now I just want something for the top. And as you saw, I've got an absolute ton of stuff. I'm really liking this at the minute for these. Quite a delicately dyed sari silk. Now I don't want the green on there, so I'm going to cut there. And I think I'm going to push this one back through and do a thingy-me-bob. A thingy-me-bob, a knot. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. So leave my loop. And then if I can get my fingers through, grab that, pull it through. She's done it backwards. Let's start that again. That's the printer out of paper, but we'll ignore that. Let's do it this way. So you pull the two ends through, grab it, and you end up with this sort of little neckerchief at the front, and it holds your stuff in place. So I like that. That's pretty. I'm happy with that one. I think that's a really pretty tag. You can see. Yeah, like that. Next, printer's just not off paper, but as I said, I'm going to ignore it for now. So hopefully that sounds a little bit better. So we're going to do this skinny one now. There's a little bit of the navy blue on here. So I wonder if I've got anything with a touch of navy blue or deeper colour. So we've got some of the photo. That one could be quite cute. If a little bit big. That's got some little blue flowers on, but it's the wrong way. I don't even know what way you go. That way, that's sort of a little wildflower. It's just an awkward placement, that, isn't it? Or a photograph. Should I have a photograph on there, maybe? And we'll do some other blue bits. Right, I've got some scraps, some paper scraps that I've just stuck in here. Just little offcuts, and I'm sure there was there's a little blue florally there. So maybe we'll sort of back that onto the blue floral. That way, perhaps. And trim it. Maybe we'll have that. Can I see plenty of the blue? Something like that, maybe. I don't want to cut too much of the blue. But that might look quite nice. I wonder if I can... Oh no, it's stitched on. It's just such an awkward placement. If it was slightly higher or slightly lower. Should we see if we can unpick this? Oh, that was easy. There. Let's move you. If we move that down, that's a little bit better. Perhaps that way. That's just a little bit of a better placement, I think. And then we've got, see, I've got some blue trim there, but it's the wrong blue. Do we really need some trim on that one? I feel like it needs something else, and I don't know what. So, see, this is what happens when you don't plan. Now, I've got a box here with stuff in it. I didn't really know what was in this. We've got a little blue flower. Or maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. That looks nicer. That's better. top. That's better. Yeah, sort of that-ish. There. And this one's my butterfly box. So I've got lots of butterflies. Mainly not cut out butterflies because they take so long. What about you? Something like that? Do you feel like it needs something else behind? It needs something long. It needs something longer, doesn't it? Chuck those back there. Now I do have blue tickets. So let's have you there. That was like that with one side, and then we've got the little bit of trim and a butterfly. What do we think? Just the whole thing moving down a bit. And then some, yeah, I think we'll go with that because we could be here all day otherwise. So let's stick this down first. You can tell it's cold because my glue is playing up. Dearie me. How long have we had? Half an hour. So we'll make this the last one, I think. You get the idea. But I will put on the flip through, obviously, on YouTube when I've finished and done put the journals together. Just so you can see what we've done with the others. But I hope it gives you a couple of ideas. I mean, I've got a whole stack to do. I've got like this many. So if I were to film them, we'd literally be here all day. So, but yeah, it's quite therapeutic. I mean, I've literally, me and my serial killer documentaries, I've just been sat watching a nice documentary about a murderer, as you do, whilst doing the last one. So it's quite a little therapeutic task, as are many of these journaling crafts, I find. It's just to sit and sort of potter your way through. Do I want it higher? I think high is better. I just don't want that to finish at the same point, so I think up there is better. If you could see that. I hope you can see. Do I need to zoom you back in? Craft glue. Anywhere else, really, other than online. There aren't many high street stores. We don't have like is it Hobby Lobby or Joann's or whatever you have in the States that you can buy from. We don't really have anything like that. We have Hobbycraft, but it's pants. Doesn't really sell much. Not in the way of paper crafting anyway, I find. For embellishments and things, it's like the Tim Holtz section, you're lucky if you've got one thing. Not much at all. I've just realised, you know what? I'm going to take that off because I'm going to end up making the same mistake where I can't stitch round. So let me back this. Ooh. It's like it was meant to be. That's good, isn't it? Yeah, so we'll back it, stitch round, and then we're good to go. That's literally just big enough. Okay, right. Chuck this through the sewing machine, back in a mo. And I'm probably going to go around it twice as I usually do. I don't know why, I just do. So obviously once you put all the fabric and stuff on these can be quite bulky, so just be mindful of that on your sewing machine. Don't want anyone blaming me for their sewing machine needles snapping. There we are. Right, let's stick this back down. Oops. There. And then again, I want an eyelet and I want some nice ribbon or something. I think I have some cream somewhere. And that's quite nice, we'll have that. And because we've used a little silver blingy bit, we'll have a silver eyelet. Obviously you don't have to put eyelets through. A lot of people just get sort of a bit of ribbon and just staple it on the top, which can look quite cool. Move you back. But I'm using eyelets. So there-ish. Oof. Yeah, you see with the, if that's in focus, this little bit is what we've just punched, so we're just going to have to sort of snip that away because I don't want it pulling back through the other side. And mind your fingers when you're doing that. If anyone did watch the lace masterboard one, you'll know I had a finger injury, which now looks, whoa, you can see that it looks like absolutely nothing, but when I was cutting I snipped in my finger, so it was, can you see, it's actually quite deep. Not my finest moment. Right, are you sticking on? So there's my eyelet. Just gonna check any bits that have come through. I think it is to one side, but never mind. And then we'll have a little bit of this. There. Snip some of you off. Let's see if I can get this one in a bow. So 2 pieces together, back to front, unlike the first time I did it. And then your loop comes over, gives you your little neckerchief, and then I'm going to see if I can get these tied in a tiny bow. Could probably have used a bigger piece, but never mind. Cost of living crisis and all that, got to be thrifty. Ball. Try and get you at some sort of even. There we are. Pretty. So 40 minutes, shall leave it there. So I'm quite happy so far with how these are turning out. I think it's they're quite cute, and I think they will look lovely in the journals. I particularly like the one with the buttons. I think they'll be a lovely addition to those skinny journals that I've made. They will hopefully be up by the end of the week, and as I said, overseas customers, please feel free to contact me, or indeed any independent seller that you do spot that is currently not shipping overseas. I would encourage you to reach out to them and just, you know, are you planning on selling overseas once the postage is back up? Are you happy to wait for your parcel? You know, the other thing, of course, is we have these Etsy, as you know, one of mine is an Etsy, the non-TV one is the Etsy shop. We have these star seller things. Now, I've got orders that are just sat in my order list with days overdue on them because I cannot send them. That means that I won't be able to get my star seller status for this month because my orders are not on time. Massively unfair, I think, and Etsy really needs to pull its finger out and deal with that. But yeah, not ideal, and it does affect us. So anybody that you do see, I'm here still sat thinking, can I put some trim on? Anybody that you do come across independent small businesses that you would like to purchase from, contact the shop owners. The details are always on Etsy. If you see them on Instagram, pop them a message through and just, you know, see what you can do and see what you can arrange, because small businesses really do rely on your support, and it's frustrating to say the least. And to those people that are waiting for parcels for me, particularly my lovely lady in New Zealand, who I know has been waiting for an awful long time for a little boy's mini zebra journal. Thank you so much for your patience. We really do appreciate it. It must be so annoying, but we really are trying our best. So, yeah, second rant over. Right. Don't forget to tag me if you do make any of these. I would love to see what you make. And I will catch you later. Alrighty. Bye-bye.